Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I really enjoyed the movie.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
going
Thank
to
you.
get started by asking. I mean, it must have been great fun giving directions to Vince Vaughn, where basically your leading direction was channel your inner teenage girl. That must have been quite a fun kind of thing to play on set.
It was a lot of fun. And I think what I love so much about Vince as an actor is that instead of just sort of doing a caricature of a girl, like he really commits. So he he becomes Millie. And Kathryn really does become the butcher. And so watching both of them perform was a blast just because they were fearless.
I mean, you seem to have a real knack for making really quite affectionately kind of playful movies that sit within the horror genre. Is that just what you're kind of interested in? Because I mean, obviously there's always space for kind of more mood pieces and quite more
Yeah.
somber kind of horrors, but you seem to have a lot of fun with the horror movie genre.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've reached a point in my career where I really just enjoy making fun movies. And I think, I was raised on a pretty steady diet of horror, but a lot of movies that really shaped my personality and sort of my tastes were movies like Gremlins and Monster Squad and different Amblin films and Robert Zemeckis and Back to the Future. And so I think I bring a lot of that kind of 80s fun energy to my movies because I also think that it's kind of something it's a little bit lacking, I think, in the marketplace. It feels like horror always has to be either like super serious and incredibly dark, which I appreciate, by the way. I love those movies. But I think there's room for horror comedies. And I think that, and what's really cool is that it feels like we're kind of living in a time where broader audiences are much more receptive to that too. I
Yeah.
feel like horror comedies used to be like a taboo thing, at least from the studio side of it.
Yeah, it never feels like you're satirizing the genre, though. Is that quite a hard balance to get right to be playful and be quite kind of irreverent at times, but avoid feeling like a parody, which is something you managed to do so well. But is that quite a tough balance?
It's not a tough balance because I think it's genuine. It comes from the heart, and I'm not out to sort of like sarcastically make fun of things. I'm here to sort of playfully poke at them, but also to pay homage and to their love letters to the things that I grew up with. And so I think that's kind of the undercurrent of all the work that I do, which is sort of like this. There's a reverence, that's always present, because I love all these movies, and I want people to have a good time.
And just very finally before I go, just obviously I loved Happy Death Day. I'm just wondering, could there be any scope in maybe getting a third movie there? And also, is Freaky a sort of a franchise you could revisit again? Because these are characters I'd love to spend more time with.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been trying and talking a lot about making Happy Death Day 3, and I've had the idea for some time now. And I know everybody wants to do it. It's a universal thing. They have to decide whether they want to make a third film or not, because if they do, I think we're all ready to go for it. And then we might see another Freaky, or we might see a Freaky Happy Death Day crossover. Like, there's all kinds of possibilities. So we'll see what happens.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Chris.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!